Hey everyone, it's Adam, and in this video it's going to be something a little bit different. What I'm going to be doing is ranking every controller in Mario Kart Wii. For those who don't know, I am actually a very avid Mario Kart Wii player. I play it a lot. I don't really play online, but I just like playing it every once in a while. I consider myself decent at it. So I have every single, there are 5 possible controllers for this game. I have all 5. I've experienced with all 5, so I'm going to rank all 5. It's a lot of 5s. Now, I'm not really going to be talking through gameplay-wise. I'm just going to be talking about how the controller feels to control, I guess. So maybe that is kind of gameplay-wise. But I'm just going to be talking about how they feel, how they are controllable. I'm not going to be showing any gameplay just because I'm just going to be showing the controller and going from there. So let's get started.
At number 5, I have the Wii Wheel. Now, I'm sure that most of you watching this is what you guys play with. It's what most Mario Kart Wii players play with who don't really play competitively. But the main reason why this is at number 5 is it is just plain hard to control. I mean, you have to steer. I mean, motion controls, I already don't really enjoy them. But, I mean, them in Mario Kart, I feel like I just turn way harder than I want to when I am steering with this thing. Going over some of the basic controls, you hold 2 to accelerate. The D-pad, you can throw forward or backward for items. B, this is to drift. And to steer, well, you steer. Overall, this is also what I played with a lot growing up, but as I've come to more experience with the game, I play more better, I guess you can say, as I'm going to show you later. Once again, the reason I don't like this is just because I feel like when I try to turn, I turn way harder than I want to. It's just hard to control in general. And, yeah, remember, this is just from my standpoint. My opinion is not right. You can have the right to disagree with me. But, that is why the Wii Wheel is number 5 on my list. Or I have the Wii Remote. Now, this is basically the exact same thing as the Wii Wheel. But the reason I have it one spot higher is because I feel like it is slightly easier to control this way. Mainly in the fact that because the Wii Wheel is an actual wheel, you kind of want to turn it maybe a little more chaotically, kind of like this. But in reality, you really just need to turn it like this, and I feel like you can get an easier grip with the Wii Remote doing that. The controls are literally exact same, 2 to accelerate, D-pad to throw items. The B button is also just the regular B button that is on the Wii Remote as well. So, number 4, the Wii Remote. Also, the reason it is at number 4 is because you also have to use motion controls to steer. And let's be honest, motion controls for steering in Mario Kart Wii is not the ideal way to play. One more thing, I promise. To do tricks with both the Wii Wheel and the Wii Remote, you have to fling the controller. And to be honest, I kind of like that you have to do that because it makes tricks easy. But I don't really like I have to hold it horizontal. You kind of have to do this. And that's not just really a comfortable way to do it. So another control thing I forgot to mention, sorry about that, but yeah, Wii Remote in at number 4. In at number 3, I have the GameCube Controller. Now, believe it or not, I actually really like the GameCube Controller. I really don't think there are any flaws to it, but the reason it is at number 3 is just because it really doesn't stand out that much in terms of anything being significant. The A button is to accelerate. It's nice and big, so it's pretty easy to do so. To drift, you hold R, I think it's called. I'm not really proficient with that. L is the other one that is to do tricks, to use items. And to steer, you have this really, really good joystick, which mine is unfortunately a little stiff, but I know that it's not always like that, so that is the reason why, yeah. Anyways, one flaw I do have is with this and another controller, to do tricks and wheelies, you have to hit the D-pad. Now, I'm not really going to illustrate it for you, but because I'm holding the camera, or my phone in this case, but if you're holding this in a regular way, you're not going to have any fingers on the D-pad at any point. So if you want to do tricks, you're going to have to take your finger off here, slide it down here to do tricks. And even though that seems pretty easy, it isn't really that great to do because it does waste time. To wheelie, though, you have to hit the up on the D-pad, which the D-pad on here is already really small. So doing that is also not ideal considering you want to wheelie a bunch in this game. So that is why the GameCube Controller is at number 3. Again, I love the GameCube Controller. I just don't use it. And at number 2 is the Classic Controller. Now I know what you're thinking. Adam, that looks exactly like a GameCube Controller. And yes, I will agree with you. It does. However, as you can see here, there is two Z buttons instead of one. The back ones were changed to ZL. These are now R and L. And there's a start, home, and select button here. I mean, in minus button, excuse me. And that is what makes it different from a GameCube controller. However, in all that case, it still is the exact same. This one I do prefer a little bit, just because I mean it is, with mine at least, it is easier to steer. Another thing wrong with the GameCube controller is from holding down drifts, my finger would usually cramp up a little bit. But with this, you just have to hold it here, and it's not that tough to do. Exactly. The controls are pretty much the exact same in this. A to hold down. Mine has a big A button, so that's ideal. This to drift, R to drift, L to their items. This joystick to steer. This joystick is a lot more flexible, which helps in this case. And unfortunately, you also have to hit the D-pad and up on the D-pad. D-pad to do tricks, up on the D-pad to do a wheelie, which is still not really good in my eyes. However, once again, I do prefer this to the GameCube controller because I do think it's easier to drift and throw items. So that is why the classic controller is in at number 2. And in at number 1, I have the Nunchuck. Yes, this is the version of controllers in Mario Kart Wii that I play with, and I love it mainly because you use a joystick to steer, and it's just all around a little simpler to do because I feel like steering with one hand just makes it a little easier, especially with the nunchuck because you can just use your thumb and you're really not holding anything else. There's really no weight to it at all. Over the controls, to accelerate you hold A, to drift you hold B. I think this is really good because you kind of have just full control over it on your hands, if that makes any sense. To move, you use the joystick, which I like. To use items, you use Z. And to do tricks and wheelies, this is why I use the nunchuck. All you have to do is flick up the Wii Remote. Now, you can also flick up, do wheelies and tricks with the Wii Remote just by itself and Wii Wheel, but you do this horizontally, and I feel like you just get a better grip doing this instead of doing this. And it's much easier for me to remember to do that because all I have to do is flick on my wrist. I don't have to click a button, and button may not be responsive all the time. The Wii Remote also may not be responsive all the time. For me, it is. So that is why I use the nunchuck in Mario Kart Wii, and why it is my number 1 controller.
So let me know in the comments what kind of controllers you use. I'm really enticed to know, because everyone uses a different controller. So I get that some of you may have not played this game, but if you have, just leave a comment. Let me know what you use. Pretty interested to hear. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys next time.